Sunday, August the 4th, and you know what that means. Ringside Heat is on the air on News Talk Sauga 960 on your favorite podcatcher and on the Monday after on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lex Tan. Alongside me is John Dawson at John Dawson Music. Alongside us on his own stream over here is Jose Tabuada at Tabuada93, Director of Digital Content, and we are reviewing SummerSlam, which aired just yesterday, and my goodness, what a show that we got to experience last night in the comfort of our homes and on TV. So before we get into that, let's say, what's it, you guys? How you guys doing today, Johnny?
Great, man. This was an incredible event, and I know we're going to get into it a little deeper, but I just loved it. Like, really, really, really loved it. I can't. I mean, okay, maybe I have one problem, but ultimately, I thought it was an extremely success. I don't even know if you could say there was a bad spot in the show.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Director of Digital Content?
I think it is one of the best SummerSlams of all time. I will go there without a doubt. It is one of the best SummerSlams ever. Yep. What a night last night. Unbelievable night. Of course, if you guys want to see our reactions for some of the bigger moments, I definitely want to check out the live stream replay here on our YouTube channel. It is up there, all 4 hours of beauty. What a night. I'm just happy. I'm just so happy that we're in a spot where I feel like we can talk about WWE freely and be happy about it and not sound like nerds, because it's actually great to watch again.
Exactly. Yeah.
But just such a good night. We're gonna get into the details and everything. But I'm very happy at that. I think it's been it's probably since WrestleMania since I felt like this happy after out of a pay-per-view. So great stuff, WWE. Phenomenal job.
And it's only about 118 days since we were at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia.
119 now. 119 now with this being Sunday night. But yes, we were seeing the stats like such as Bayley, for example, 118 days as champion, and we're like, damn, it's been that long already. And then we all shed a tear because we realized it's been that many days since we were at our peak happiness in our lives. So,
and yet it seemed like just yesterday, especially with with Roman's return, for those of you who haven't been living, who've been living under, a rock, Roman came back yesterday to one of the hugest pops of this era, because people have respected him, people have felt his absence. Since he's been since he took his little 119-day break from being on the roster, and since his last match.
We'll get into those later. Yeah, definitely get into that later.
Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, I just want to let everybody listening and watching that tonight's episode of Ringside Heat is brought to you by Outlier. But that's right. Here we go. Right side up. Outlier by John Dawson. It is an album over here that's about family, simple experience to set the music. And for instance, the first single, Things I Meant to Say, is about becoming a parent for the first time. Very, very touching song. And just a great album on the whole. I said this on the stream a few times already. It is a musical feast for the ears, but it's also very meaningful to the heart and to the soul. You can get your copy of Outlier by John Dawson on 180-gram vinyl at johndawsonmusic.myshopify.com, and you can also get these cool t-shirts that Johnny and I are wearing as well too, of the album art here, which is great. And of course, you can buy it on Apple iTunes, and you can stream it off Apple iTunes and Spotify and wherever you get your music. And before we go to break over here, let's just get a little bit of a review as to what happened at SummerSlam. And we had 7 matches, and Johnny was saying earlier as well, and I believe he mentioned it on the stream just now, that really, really good matches on the whole, and then the weaker matches weren't even that weak either. So here we go. Now, the first match of the night was Liv Morgan defeating Rhea Ripley with Dirty Dominic Mysterio with the interference at ringside, and Liv Morgan is your new Women's World Champion. Braun Breaker became your new Intercontinental Champion by defeating Sami Zayn by pinfall, and that match only took 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Honestly, that that was under 10 minutes, but obviously makes a lot of sense here in this in this sense. One of the big highlights of the night: LA Knight defeating Logan Paul with Machine Gun Kelly by ringside and by pinfall. And now your new WWE United States champion is LA Knight. Nia Jax defeated Bayley by pinfall to become the new WWE Women's Champion. Drew McIntyre defeated CM Punk with Seth Rollins as your special guest referee, and we'll get into that because there's a lot of 1997 references in there. Gunther defeated Damian Priest and became your new World Heavyweight Champion. Cody Rhodes defeated Solo Sikoa by pinfall to retain the undisputed WWE Championship, but that is also the match that brought us the return of the one, the only, and the one true tribal chief, Roman Reigns. So lots to talk about here, lots of meat on the bones to chew over here, but we're going to come back and we're going to reset actually, and we are going to come back after these promotional considerations. Remember, Outlier by John Dawson is the sponsor of this episode of Ringside Heat. We'll be back after these messages.
I know that this conversation more than a few years away. But it'll break. Rest assured, I will greet you.
And welcome back to Ringside Heat on News Talk Sauga 960 AM, your favorite podcatcher, as well as on YouTube. I'm Lex Tan. Follow me at Lex Tan Media. Follow the show at Ringside_Heat. Alongside me here in the very same room is John Dawson at John Dawson Music, recording artist. Outlier by John Dawson. Get your copy. And Jose Tabuada, director of digital content at Tabuada93 over at his place, and SummerSlam. Again, what a night for SummerSlam at the moment. It's just coming off a great high of seeing the tribal chief return and getting retribution on the fake tribal chief, if you want to say that, Solo Sikoa. So you know what? Because it is the hot topic over here. Let's start off with that. I want to hear what your what you guys think about this whole matchup, this Bloodlines rules match rather, and with Cody coming out on top with the help of Roman Reigns.
I want to start off by saying that WWE finally got the face pop that they were trying to force down our throats in 2015. That is such I will always look back at that moment at the 2015 Rumble in Philadelphia, with the Rock raising his cousin's hand and the boos showering hard.
Yep.
And that is the peak of that era of Roman Reigns, right? The era that
dog, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
the WWE was trying to say, this is our guy, this is who you're gonna cheer, and it was rejected left and right.
Mm-hmm.
You could say that he never recovered from that. You could say that he never clicked, even at that WrestleMania, which Seth Rollins interfered and everything. That Roman was hated, rejected.
I would have had.
It was astounding.
Yeah.
Here you are now, all these years later, 9 years later, and his return was the equivalent of oh my God, I don't even know what to compare it to.
I'll find the parallel. It's Triple H 2002 after he returned from his quad injury.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, that's a great
agreed.
comparison. That's really
It's
good.
on that level. It's on that level.
It's nice. And look, I was one of the people that booed Roman in 2015, and because he did not sell me either. Like, aside from the forceful pushes, the character work didn't convince me at all.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because it wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't genuine from Joanna Y. It did not click. And so just on top of the forceful pushes, it was a disaster waiting. And it was a disaster. That John Cena promo for the No Mercy match a couple years after.
That was I believe that was the true turning point for Roman Reigns, right? That was rock bottom for him.
Easily, but again, the return last night was just so right. The pop, the biggest ooh-wah I think I've ever heard in all
Unanimous.
these years of seeing Roman perform in a
Yeah.
WWE ring.
Mhm.
The match was phenomenal. It needed the stipulation because
Oh yeah.
un-
Oh
because
yeah.
un- I
Solo
mean
wouldn't have been able to handle that on his
Solo
own.
would not have been able to handle the one-on-one. There was no interest going into this match. Everybody was saying it should have been Punk and McIntyre to main event. And yes, that was the biggest story.
That was
But that
incredible.
bloodline rules somehow changed everything, and it instantly turned that main event into something worthwhile to watch.
Mhm.
Not as strong as WrestleMania's. Yes, there's bias in there, but I don't care.
Yep.
Not as intense as WrestleMania in terms of the appearances. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, yada yada yada, the bloodline, yada yada yada. My only gripe is that maybe this is a good thing because Roman is Roman, but no Jimmy, no Paul, which
I was yeah. Okay. I'll wait till you're done. But yeah.
which
Okay.
which I'm okay with because Roman is that powerful. So, and I know I'm rambling on. So, John, get ready to take over. Long story short, I'm happy that I am finally cheering Roman because he is great and he's good at what he does. And just not believe we're living in an era where we're all happy to ooh-ah together as one. So,
Yeah.
John, take it away.
No, listen. The no Jimmy thing, it makes sense now because I think eventually when the Jay and Jimmy thing happens, you're going to get a repeat of this level of pop because that's the end game, right? This is Survivor Series. This is old bloodline, and I suspect there might be maybe there'll be some kind of turn in there for one of the bloodline members because you got to even the odds. 'Cause I'm pretty sure The Rock's going to be involved in this somehow. But Roman's return I couldn't have been happier for a guy who's had so much personal struggle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
His health issues we are all well aware of. The getting over I remember listening last summer to Paul Heyman on Rick Rubin's podcast talking about when he pitched head of the table to Joseph. And he said, "Look, you're the big dog now, but you'll be remembered as the head of the table." When he pitched this storyline,
Mhm.
Paul Heyman was not wrong.
No.
And tonight, what I love about what they did the most is that Cody wasn't buried by that return somehow.
Nope.
Not at
Nope.
all.
He was
That
enhanced.
He was enhanced. That was a really subtle piece of genius
Mhm.
on the part of the booking, but on the part of the talent. And I said it probably about 1,000 times on our live stream. He never took his eyes off Roman.
Mhm.
That was brilliant.
Mhm.
So good.
I mean, it was on every layer of storytelling, flawless to me.
Mhm.
Absolutely flawless.
And and that's the thing. That's one thing that I think has been such a huge, subtle strength of this whole entire bloodline story is that, as John has mentioned many times over the years that we've done this show, that it's the little things. It's those little acting micro emotions and those things that you do that those guys are able to do because WWE has the infrastructure to train these guys in those subtle acting things that now are able to come across on screen. It adds all those little itty bitty layers to that story to make it even more rich. And one of those things, and Jose, you pointed this out to us during the live stream. Roman mouthed something in Cody's direction after he had retained the
Yeah, can we
championship.
confirm that? What did he say?
While you guys were watching the press conference, I went back into it and I was just gonna bring that up. I was gonna bring that up to follow up with you, John. It looked like, I could be wrong, but it looked like Roman said it's your time, which is massive because
That's huge.
and it's funny because obviously you had the infamous "Who's he here for?" line, the
Mhm.
Roddy Piper "Who's he here for?" line.
Yeah.
That Michael Cole said, even though we all knew he was going to gun for Solo, but it was still one of those you never know, right? And
Yeah.
and it's and like you said, Cody wasn't buried because the pop was still there, right? Because I mean, one, the fans won. You got, not only did you get the return of Roman, but Solo is not champion, and that's not because of storyline purposes. that cheer of Cody retaining was, thank the Lord, you
Yeah.
did the right thing, right? Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. John,
Cody in the press conference said something really interesting, which I loved. And he said, Roman wasn't there for me.
Yes.
I have no illusions about that. And Cody was talking about how he tapped the belt with his 3 fingers, going, I know there's a third one coming. And this is what I love about this, is that Cody and Roman can play this wonderful story of, the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of
Yep.
scenario.
Mhm.
And it will make for wonderful drama and wonderful tension. But they're gonna play this right, and they want to keep Cody over like crazy as a face, and Roman is over. So these guys are they're this is the Mega Powers 2.0 happening here.
something that just came to mind, and I think this is a direction, because this is the first step to War Games. Your first seed has been planted for
Yeah.
War Games, which
Sure.
is, by the way, in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Suck it, United States. We got one more pay-per-view.
Home province of the Queen of Canada, Miss
Yes,
Chelsea.
indeed.
That's right.
I can totally see Cody joining Roman and the Usos in that match in the War Games.
Oh,
100%.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Sami Zayn because of the honorary use and the whole meme and everything. And yeah, up until
Yeah,
like 20 seconds ago, I'm going, wait, would it be Sammy? But then as of literally the wheels were turning in my head in this last 2 minutes. Like they're turning in my head and I'm going, wait a minute. Cody is great with Roman. They're gonna build a relationship out of this probably. And they acknowledge that, like, and
100%.
Roman just hit off his head and said, go on, go.
Yeah.
Do
I'll
what
get
you
my
gotta
time
do.
again, but I got your
Yeah.
back right now, or
Mhm.
whatever.
And you saying the enemy is my friend. I'm like, there's your entry for the War Games match. And then that's where we finally see The Rock to set up Cody and Rock at WrestleMania 41.
Mhm.
That will be my prediction for Survivor Series 2024.
Mhm.
That's good.
That would be
I
very
also
good.
think in between that, you're going to see a SmackDown where you're going to have Roman, Cody, KO, and Randy versus the Bloodline.
I hope not.
Oh
Really?
yeah, really.
Randy and KO.
Randy, KO, Cody, and Roman versus the Bloodline.
I hope not. It's time for Randy and KO to do something else. They've been stuck with this for a long time. And
Oh, sure, but I
and to be-
mean, but you can't, after what they did tonight. There's going to be there's going to be a debt to pay there.
there is, but
Like it could
The-
happen as soon as next Friday, which would make a lot of
which
sense
is what I'm
to
hoping
me.
for. But
right?
the thing as well is that we're still waiting for a Jimmy return. You know that tag team is going to reunite. Let's not forget that Jimmy got beat around by Solo and his little buddies after WrestleMania 40. And I'm presuming Jay is gonna finally come in. I presume Jay's gonna come in, team up with Roman, and be like, "Well, all right, let's go get my brother," and then get that going. And to be honest, like even when this is a bit of a hot take, when Randy and KO came out during the main event of SummerSlam, I'm going, all right, these guys, okay, let's get it out. It makes sense, right?
Oh,
I
had the
was
exact
I was
opposite reaction.
waiting for Jimmy. I was waiting for Jimmy. That's why I said, like, I'm
Sure.
surprised Jimmy wasn't there because of the beatdown he got. And again, keep planting the seeds for Survivor Series. I don't see. I respectfully, I hope Kevin Owens and Randy Orton move to different programs. I don't need to. I don't.
Oh yeah. No.
I don't know
That's
why
only-
it doesn't go any further. It
Here's-
doesn't
here's-
need to go further.
Here's the thing:
No.
they're going to, because of the fact that that they are going to get the Usos back in this story one more time, and it's going to be there's the story beats in there. I can already see is that first off, Cody and Roman are going to establish not just the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but also a mutual respect, because Cody was the only guy who was able to take down Roman Reigns after 4 years of that title reign. So there's already going to be immediate respect for Cody Rhodes from Roman Reigns coins at this point. And then when Jimmy and Jay get back into this mix over here and start and reunite, it's going to be Jimmy's might be the prodigal brother, and it's going to have that that hug it out kind of moment.
They're saving that Uso reunion
and it's
for the absolute last minute.
Oh yeah,
That
exactly.
is
That's going to be down the line,
yeah.
but the build to that is going to be a lot of fun to watch, especially now that Roman is going to may still be wanting to get that championship back from Cody, but the fact is that they're going to. There's going to be a reunion with Jay. There's going to be that respect moments between with Cody and Jimmy eventually coming back. That's going to be drawn out over the next few months.
That's why I'm saying I don't need Randy and KO in the War Games match. I don't need.
No. And I'm not saying War Games, dude. I'm saying
I thought you were saying War Games.
No, not at all.
Oh,
No.
sorry.
I'm saying like a SmackDown, like even next Friday. There's
okay.
No. War Games is, to me, War Games has to be Cody, Roman, and the Usos.
Yeah, that's I thought you said War Games. I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna continue them going. We're gonna keep digging them in, bury them in.
No. No, the KO Randy thing is gonna be a little bit of unfinished business that's gonna happen on a SmackDown. But I'm looking forward to that.
Or even Bash in Berlin.
Sure.
Blood,
you know what I mean? Like something leading up. Because you're going to be able to position, like you're going to keep the Usos away, but you get Cody and Roman in a kind of a fragile alliance position, whatever you want to call it. But no. War Games has to be those three with Cody and The Rock coming out at the end to do something.
Get your tickets, folks. I'm going to try to get mine.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think there's any other way that goes. But story's going to be gorgeous leading up.
Without a doubt.
It's going to be can't miss TV for the next at least SmackDown is for the next 3 months.
Also on a unrelated note, as we're talking about the main event, we did see in the middle of the match, Jacob Fatu with an incredible frog splash holding his ankle. Our lovely Fightful insider Sean Rossap tweeted out 20 minutes ago at the time of this recording. Triple H says Jacob Fatu was a little banged up after the main event tonight, and they'll see where that ends up. So hopefully, our plans don't derail. But at the time, it didn't look ideal the way he held his ankle. But again, I am hoping.
I know he was holding his ankle, but it looked like the impact was on his shin.
Yeah.
So I
either or, it's not ideal.
No, but a bruised shin is much different than a.
Yeah, well, hoping it is only a bruised shin because that guy,
they need him.
Yeah, there's a rocket strap to that back. Because as you were saying, Jose, as you guys were saying that, and actually JP, John's son JP was and I were talking about this during the show, during the pay-per-view, PLE rather, that there's absolutely no way that Solo Sikoa wins a championship, a world championship before Jay does. It just wouldn't make any sense, and that's one of the reasons why we're all just why the entire WWE universe breathed a sigh of relief.
I wasn't sure, man. You can listen to the live stream. I said Cody was losing. I said it
did
15 times. I was like, that's it.
But like I said, it's 80%. It's 80% happiness that Solo didn't win, 20% hey, Cody retained.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Which again, I'm happy that Cody retained anyway.
I'm happy Cody retained, but I'm more happy Solo didn't win.
Portion of my happiness was it's not Solo. Thank
100%.
the Lord.
100%.
Sorry, Lex, continue.
That's okay. That's no worries. From and I know I probably said this before, but last week when I had my third lesson, I was able to do a little bit of refereeing at this there, and I was able to try out pins and getting pinned as well, and what Cody and Solo did with those near pinfalls. Very, very well executed. My gosh, especially on Cody. nearly like kicking out at 2 3/4.
Yeah.
It's that's some great work that they do. Of course, I believe it was senior referee Chad Patton in charge of that match. Was that,
Mhm.
was that the case? And of course, he learned under the learning tree of a Mike Chioda and and Earl Hebner. So
Listen,
so you got quality people in that match making us think that something could happen.
well, the entire match was a masterclass in subtlety, and I said this again on the stream. Roman's running. You watch his trajectory. He's heading towards Cody,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like he's running. He's coming in under the ropes at Cody. Pivots at the last possible second to deliver the Superman punch to Solo. Solo had to be so ring aware, and as much as I'm not a Solo fan, he had to be in like the coordination of that moment was not lost on me, because Roman came in going straight for Cody, and then literally at the last second just twisted, dropped that Superman punch on Solo. Just incredible work from everyone involved. Like, I really hope Jacob's okay, because I think he's key to how the next 3 months unfolds.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
that's a big problem. If he gets sidelined, that's a big problem.
I mean, I have faith in everything working out because Punk did a good job staying relevant
He
in all
did.
these months being injured.
Agreed.
So while it would be rough to lose the enforcer, like the physical
it's
side,
not insurmountable.
it's not. Yeah, it's not the worst, because I think WWE will learn. But yeah, it would be tough to lose Solo and with all his freak athleticism. Goodness gracious, the man.
Jacob. I mean,
Yeah.
Jacob.
Did I?
Mhm.
You said
Ah,
Solo.
it's
I
been
know
a
you
night,
did not mean
folks.
Solo.
It has
It
been.
has
But no,
been
by
a
November,
night.
Jacob will be fine to be in ring, but they can keep him. They can keep him. Yeah, they can keep him relevant.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so I guess just to summarize this whole segment over here, again, another quality another quality show
Quality is an
from
understatement.
yeah, from the bloodline, from Cody Rhodes, and from all involved in that particular main event tonight. It's just and kudos to and kudos to the hindsight, or sorry, it's the foresight rather. Kudos to the foresight of WWE and the people involved, that they decided not to just hire wrestling writers, but also movie and television and literature writers as well too, so they can have all those different perspectives. And before we go, actually, before we go to break, Johnson JP also and I were talking over wings earlier about how somebody that he met and talked to was saying that the audition process for WWE is not just for in-ring performer, but also as an actor. You got to be a good actor, portraying a good character that people want to watch on TV, and it makes so much sense. And this is why one of the reasons why WWE is elevated for wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it. But it's just we're seeing the fruits of that now, and it's making it just a great time for us to be wrestling fans at the moment.
Agreed.
Ringside Heat on News Talk Sauga 960, your favorite podcatcher, and on YouTube. This episode is brought to you by Outlier by John Dawson. With all that's going on around the world, we need a minute to remember what really matters to us. And the album Outlier by John Dawson will give you that. Available on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you get your music. 180-gram vinyl and t-shirts at johndawsonmusic.myshopify.com. We are going to take a break here, but when we come back, we will be getting into the rest of the card, the things that you might be critical of, and other things that we enjoyed other than the bloodline. We'll be back after these promotional considerations.
When the daylight's done, with me here you're not so all alone. With me here you're not so. Rest assured, I will greet you.
And welcome back to Ringside Heat on News Talk Sauga 960 AM, Lextan at Lextan Media, at Ringside_Heat is where you can follow the show. We've got John Dawson at John Dawson Music right beside me in the same room. We've got Jose Tabuada at Tabuada93. director of digital content, over at his place right now. And remember, this episode of Ringside Heat brought to you by Outlier by John Dawson, available on Apple iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere you get your music. 180-gram vinyls at johndawsonmusic.myshopify.com, and as well these beautiful T-shirts. So get your copy of Outlier either in digital or final form. Stream it as well, because it always helps.
Yep.
Wow, look at this. We were talking during the break over here between the three of us how, we were just a few years ago when we started the show, we were just talking about, the A&E biography specials and stuff like that, which were very good stuff. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
But it's because there wasn't much to talk about back then. And but then we're looking at the rest of the card, the other 6 matches that we want to address and talk about, and we feel like even though we still have maybe about 18 minutes left or something like that in this segment, it's almost like we don't know where to begin. We'll just have to try it out and see what happens.
Do what we can.
Yeah. Let's start it off though by getting through the I guess the stuff that is easier to talk about. First of all, congratulations to LA Knight defeating Logan Paul to become the United States champion and getting his first ever singles title in WWE, the main roster. John and I talked to LA Knight back last month, which is literally a month ago.
Almost to the day.
At the presser.
Almost to the day, yeah.
Yeah, and it's so cool. It's really cool to finally see him get his title. Get his first title.
Quick thing there, and I don't want to take too long of this, but when Logan Paul, arguably one of the biggest social media presences like on the planet, is the least of what we want to talk about, I think it points to exactly what WWE did tonight. Logan Paul was just a footnote to me in this
which
entire
is insane to say.
Which is insane to say.
But he also did the job, and he put over LA Knight, and
100%.
That's gonna shoot him, to the moon. For lack of a better term.
Wait, what? Wait. Oh, do you mean Logan Paul? Oh, sorry. I thought you meant LA Knight shot LA Knight to the moon. I'm like, huh? I thought you said that for a second. Sorry.
I don't think you could do that.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's ballsy.
No, but when Logan Paul is virtually a footnote in an event,
I think you said LA Knight there. That's why I'm confused. I think you said that LA Knight was the footnote, and your social media presence.
I said LA Knight.
I think you did. That's why I'm like confused, which now makes a lot of sense.
Well,
yes.
If I did,
we can listen back on the tape and the replay on Spotify, which you can listen to 8 o'clock on Sunday night, right after this airs on Sauga 960 AM. Next match to talk about: Nia Jax defeating Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship. Well, congratulations to Nia. I mean, she's come back she's come back from being I guess the butt of jokes, for lack of a better term too, and working safer now. People can trust her. So congratulations to her about that. Braun Breaker defeating Sami Zayn for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Big moment for Braun.
Sad to see Sammy go down. We all knew it was going to happen. Probably the right move. I don't see Braun hanging on to this into Survivor Series. I don't see this being a long reign for Braun.
I am a little again, and this was Cody unfortunately doesn't have this role, especially after the way the SummerSlam ended. But for Sammy, he was always going to face such a tall task to try to get on the level of Gunther's reign. He was never going to do it, and that's not on Sammy. That's literally anybody that would have dethroned him. If it was Chad Gable, who else is competing for that title? Now Chad Gable's the only one that comes to mind, but it's just this again. It's the risk of these long reigns, like we said last week. So unfortunate, but Braun, Braun is the future. So,
but
great performance.
Yeah, but you can move this title around more. I think LA Knight might be similar to this, where I don't think he's going to hang on to it a long time. You need a couple titles in regular circulation.
Yep.
Right? Because I think Cody To me, Cody's. I think we talked about this on the live stream. You're looking at, I think, 2 years.
I said max 2 years. Yeah.
You said max 2 years. I say minimum. I don't think it'll be as long as Roman, but minimum 2 years. You can't. Cody's just getting started, so those other titles got to circulate, right? And they got to be free to circulate. Gunther is certainly not going to set a record with the WHC. We haven't had that kind of time. You know what I mean? So these, if you've got the US and the IC and the WHC circulating more, Cody holding on to that Universal all of a sudden doesn't look too weird, you know?
Fair.
You know
Fair.
what I'm saying?
Yep, I do.
And Nia's got to drop, and Nia is going to lose that title to Tiffy. It's guaranteed. That's happening sooner than later.
I disagree.
My
Dude,
joke
she
earlier.
put the case beside the title.
Oh, did she?
Like, oh yeah, at the press
Oh, never
conference. No,
mind.
man, this is
Never mind.
happening sooner than later.
See, the comedy in my mind was that Tiffy was going to cash in on Nia Jax during the press
At the
conference.
press conference, which would have been great.
And create a whole new
Would have been
moment.
creative.
That would have been
Wouldn't that have
hilarious.
been awesome? Like if she
That would
just
have been
knocked
creative.
her out right there.
I was saying that Tiffy holds her briefcase until at least 2025, but when you have stuff like that at the press conference, then maybe not.
No, I don't think so, man.
And look, and when it comes to titles in circulation, seeing Logan perform the way that he did tonight, it makes me sad. There were only 2 defenses, and I know Logan's not the most popular character, and again, more. I don't want to bring up specifically, but he has more
real life
social,
heat.
more real life heat, which it's frustrating. He's like, come on, dude, like you're in such a good spot, just stop. But again, that's not the conversation I want to have. God, that springboard off the top to the top rope off into a moonsault was phenomenal. I kind of going, wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And again, it goes to show that he's good.
He gets it.
I will never not say it. He's good.
Oh, he's good, but here's the dance with the devil the WWE does with a guy like Logan Paul, because you can't possibly manage that guy and his content. WWE cannot manage Logan Paul's presence on social media. So you can't put too much stock in that guy. You can't, because there's too many variables.
Yeah.
All he has to do is go rogue like we saw, and all of a sudden WWE has a PR problem they didn't want.
It's a shame.
But it's a shame, but anyways, there it is, right?
Yeah, and that might be an issue that we might have to address in a future episode of Ringside Heat. But we want to next get into the Women's World Championship match, and Liv Morgan defeating Rhea Ripley. Dominic Mysterio is the one who made the turn, and
fantastic.
And my God, that was not a stage kiss. Go ahead, Jose.
Look. Let me paint you a picture. All right.
Oh, please
do, Van Gogh. Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
Imagine the drama or the suspense of Rhea climbing a ladder, and then Dominic pushes the thing. Just a thought. Just a thought. No, that's really it. That was being over dramatic. What a turn. I still wish it was a ladder match, because again, Dominic pushing the ladder would have been funny but brutal at the same time. But I will believe that a pushing of the ladder would have had a bigger impact than how it played out. Not that it didn't. I'm just saying a little extra oomph would have been appreciated because of the SummerSlam meme of 2005. Oh man, poor Rhea, poor Rhea. I can't believe it happened, and we all saw it coming. But my goodness, the pop for the kiss was insane. Again, is this the Cleveland? By the way, side note, great job tonight, Cleveland, as a crowd.
Oh man, that crowd was
unbelievable for a state. I know stadium shows are tricky to pick up sound. It's something they don't always translate because you don't have the roof overhead. I know a lot of people complain about that with WrestleMania 40, and meanwhile 3 of us here can say that no, we popped loud, y'all just WWE usually quieting the mics, but you heard Cleveland, so great job to Cleveland. But the pop for the
Yeah.
kids was nuts. It was nuts.
And listen, home country, American crowds needed that because, right, European crowds have been embarrassing
Yeah.
the
Next
U.S.
stop Berlin, so it's yeah,
You
not
know what
wrong.
I mean? Like, so Cleveland really hit one out of the park tonight, man, because they were a great crowd, all on point, all
Mhm.
really hot. Good sign games all around. It was pretty fun to watch.
Was that Team U Bloodline or something like
Team
that?
U
There's a
Bloodline.
lot of good stuff there. There's a lot of good stuff there. I keep
Do a
saying,
moonsault jelly roll, which is so funny to read.
Oh,
Yeah,
and,
no,
and the choke slam that Jelly Roll gave
effortless,
gave
one-handed.
Austin Theory and the elevation. Wow.
Oh, and well, listen, I love, and I'm a mark for Theory and Waller. I'm a huge mark for those guys. Those are two future superstars. You heard it here first. Everybody knows it. Those guys are money.
Mhm.
They're brilliant. They are both brilliant. And Theory sold that. The way he bounced out of that ring after the 15 knuckle shuffle had to be one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
15 knuckle
The
shuffle.
15 knuckle shuffle.
Wow.
Um,
Long night
I-
for Austin Theory.
I do want to say this. I do want to take you back to the kind of my inner Michael Calder. I want to take you back to the Liv and Rhea match. Just when you thought that somebody can get more heat on themselves, Dominic pulled that off, and it goes to show you the heel work again. Is him. It's the way to go. And for Dom to like he already had nuclear heat. What's above nuclear? Dom just hit that uncharted territory. It's really rare, and I know it's happened before, but Dom has.
That's it. Yeah, there it is.
What is it?
Supernova. Like, he's beyond. It's
Uh,
insane. And the
I-
longer his mullet gets, the more evil he gets. And I
Personally,
love
if I had to pick a word over nuclear, I'm gonna say, pardon the pun, Armageddon heat.
sure.
Okay.
Armageddon heat.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I can't believe that Dom found a way to get heated even more. Phenomenal.
Dude, I am. You want to like Dominic Mysterio is an MVP,
in
like
heel
an
work.
absolute MVP in
Yep.
heel work.
Didn't Shawn
You-
Michaels say that or something?
Shawn Michaels did say that, and I'm probably stealing it from Shawn Michaels, but I have thought it for a long time because he's brilliant. He's playing up to the Eddie Guerrero thing. He's doing I mean, clearly he's looking exactly like Eddie, just 2024.
Mm-hmm.
He is just and listen, man, his in-ring work is not bad.
No, it's getting better.
Like, it's
It's-
not.
it's-
It's gotten a lot better, and he's just constantly getting better. And he's a 19-year veteran, and he's still improving,
Mm-hmm.
according to Dominic.
And obviously, I think the question now with how interesting that ending was with Liv, it's like, okay, well, what's happening to the Judgment Day? And that's the perfect transition into the World Heavyweight Championship match, because another one of those is like, yes, the obvious is coming, but it's still well done. And that's why I'm okay with, like, when fans say, oh, it was so obvious what's happening. So still pretty damn good. If you called it and you're entertained by it, then that's probably a good thing.
And good storytelling because it makes sense.
Exactly. And boy, pops of the night when Damian Priest was trying to get out of the chokehold after Finn turned on him. Cleveland again.
Oh yeah.
Cleveland again. No pun intended. Rock the house. Okay, I get it, because the birthplace of rock and roll. Blah blah blah. They again. There's the love. It was a full face turn. If Priest didn't already have a face turn, that's it. That's your turn.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And again, it's the pop was great. Obviously, Gunther, it's about time. And I'm sad that Priest lost that title because he was such a good champion. But again, the story takes priority over Reigns, and the story made sense.
It doesn't mean that he can't get it back eventually.
No, he can. But
but
I wanted to see this go longer because I never anticipated enjoying this reign as much as I have.
Agreed. That's a great point.
And-
When he cashed in at Mania, I'm like,
I don't
What are
know,
we gonna
right?
get here? What are we gonna get here?
Mind you, I bought
Yep.
6 lottery tickets because I can't believe I saw cash in person, but that's irrelevant. And it's
That's true.
he grew on me so quick, and
Yep.
he made it because again, the fact that even WWE brought up transitional champions themselves on the commentary, he made it work, and he sold it, and he was a convincing champion. And I'm like, damn, you can keep going, and they cut it short, but it was the right move because you need to see what happens with the Judgment Day. So I presume
Stories that come out of this, man.
I presume that that's it for Rhea and Damien, which again,
100%.
unbelievable. And then a
Original
new,
Judgment Day, and there was one other dude missing.
just when you thought you know him, just when you thought you
Just
knew him.
when you
Yeah.
thought you knew him.
So,
Mhm.
what
Speaking of people who work in different companies now, well, the last match of the night that we get to talk about right now is Drew McIntyre and CM Punk.
Unbelievable.
1997.
Mhm.
There you go.
There you
Jose
go.
That's what I want to
did it.
say. 1997, and a little bit of a shame that Mr. Chico, our action figure collector, wasn't able to be here tonight because he would be advocating for Bret Hart like no tomorrow. Still, after all these years.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, CM Punk was advocating for him with his
Yeah,
ring
the-
attire.
the parallels were phenomenal, and I was saying that. I mean, one, the Hitman attire. Two, Drew even had that long jacket. I'm like, that's kind of looks like Undertaker's
Undertaker,
jacket.
yeah,
And then,
yeah.
of course, the mannerisms of Seth Rollins, and I'm like, this is Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels.
And
Yeah,
again,
no, we
And the
called
reluctance
that.
about that
Yeah.
3 at the end too. Jeez.
and it's not being unoriginal for those that said or just copying what they did, blah 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 blah. Like, not everybody can pull it off and make it work when you're recreating something. Those
Agreed.
3 did, so it worked. So yes, if you have the opportunity to with these 3 guys who can make it work, go ahead, copy the damn thing, and they nailed it to a T. Just absolutely brilliant. I guess the bracelet is a mini championship in WWE though.
Yeah, that's
I don't
weird.
know. I don't know.
Everybody comes out looking really good here, and that was one of the things I was worried about with this particular match. I'm like, what do you do here? Because clearly Drew is positioned as a heel, but Seth and Punk are tweeners.
Mhm.
But I love the fact that Punk got in his own way. And I think
Just
one
like the
of
way
us
Drew
said
did.
that. One of us said that on the stream that like Punk really, Punk screwed Punk. Come on, look at the Bret Hart parallels here, right? Like
Right.
Punk screwed Punk on this. He lost because he got, he let Seth get in his head. Seth really comes out looking really good here. Seth really didn't do anything wrong. Like he grabbed the bracelet, but then that triggered Punk, but Punk got distracted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like there was some beautiful psychology in that keeps everybody intact perfectly. I thought, and as a match, Punk looked fantastic.
And I'm happy he did.
Like,
He needed that.
He needed that. Thank you, Jose. He needed that.
Yeah, first match in WWE in 10 years, and
Just brilliant.
yeah, and
Brilliant.
yeah,
He
First
looked great.
singles match. First singles match.
Okay,
Singles match.
There you go. Yes, first singles match.
He looked great physically. He you could see he was a bit gassed off the hop because again, nothing can train you for being in a match. It looked like he was getting a bit gassed, but he recovered quick. Went long, went full out. It was brilliant. I thought he did brilliant.
I mean, it's funny because I think was it not at this time last year he was still wrestling. Like All In was coming up. He was wrestling his last match in AEW, but it's not. I mean, like it's not like it's not like it's been like 8 years since he was in the ring, right? But
yeah, fair enough.
But that said, right, all the controversy at AEW, all the backstage drama, and then all the skepticism, being skeptical towards Punk about him joining WWE and the fact that he even made it there, and then the injury right off the gate in his first physical interaction with the new company or returning company.
Yeah, that was.
I understand people's reservations towards Punk. I get it because again, getting hurt within 5 minutes or 10 minutes of his entry in the Royal Rumble match is not a good look, especially because he's going to be 46 in October.
Mhm.
he shut everybody up. And thank God that he did.
100%.
Because again, he needed this badly for the critics, for himself, for the company, for his appearance, for any other aspect you can think of. Thank goodness.
Good
Mhm.
job.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what SummerSlam does as well, it makes the next few months of WWE programming must-see TV, and I'm all for it. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. This ride that WWE is taking us on right now is a lot of fun, and will continue to be a lot of fun. And SummerSlam, definitely, I would say, knocked it out of the park tonight. But before we go, again, tonight's episode brought to you by John Dawson's Outlier. You can get it on Apple Music, Spotify. Stream it in those stream it on those platforms. Get the vinyl at John Dawson dot John Dawson music.myshopify.com, and and get the t-shirts as well. Great merch, great album, and great artist right beside me over here.
Center that album, man. Put it nice and dead center of your camera. The other way. There you go. There you go.
There it is. All right.
A little higher, but you're getting there.
Yeah. So
Rosanna Russo took that photo. The guy took it. Beautiful photographer.
That's
Just
right.
amazing.
Yeah, Vince Russo loves this album. So hey.
Yes, Vince Russo loves the album. Yes, I was saying Rosanna Russo, but yes, Vince Russo has been incredibly supportive of this record. So thank you to Vince.
Yes. So thank you as well to John Dawson at John Dawson Music, and Tabuada at Tabuada93, Jose Tabuada, who is our director of digital content. And thank you to all of you who watched us last night on the on the stream of our SummerSlam reactions and watch along. And thank you as well for listening and streaming the podcast here. My name is Lex Tan. You can follow me at Lex Tan Media. Follow the show at Ringside_Heat. And remember, Ringside Heat, we remember the things that you probably forgot.